It seems as though the cat is out of the bag. The Epstein files have been released, and everyone is going crazy on the internet. Everyone is trying to process, take in what is occurring. Those who have never seen this information, the ones that have known about this information, are saying, see, I told you so. This has been happening. And there's a lot of ways that we can feel about this. Today, I really want to just get to the bottom of how is this serving the greater collective? Where is this changing our trajectory? How are we able to stay informed, but also not get wrapped up in the dark energies that are attached and feeding these files? And just overall get a nice capture of how this is serving humanity, because we choose how certain things affect us, and let's choose to have them serve us rather than us being the victim of an event. So that's what we're doing today. Hi, I'm Marissa. If you've never been here, I'm a galactic channeler and a cosmic guide of sorts. I channel a lot of different energies, but the main energies that I channel are the Akashic Records and galactic beings. And my higher self actually wants to come through on this, so I connect with a Arcturian Syrian being. She doesn't really have a name, but I definitely get feminine energy. And I was like, why do you want to come through on this? And she said she is a bookkeeper of sorts, a historian, which I feel that in my core, which makes sense because I'm a fragment of her. And so, yeah, so she sees the bigger picture, and I get this message a lot from her specifically, and random, but like in the form of like hawks. I see anytime I need that reassurance of like, I see the bigger picture, I see a hawk. But also just in feelings. So she has this grand view of everything, and this is why she volunteered to come here. It was because she has the grand view, and by sharing this certain history that she can see, but also has experienced about Earth, it can then shift it and help to feed the higher potential realities of the planet and also the universe. So she has said many times to me that we are like the bridge between realms, and sharing of information, very information-based, which also makes sense in how I channel. But I just wanted to give you some background as to why she is the being that wanted to come forward on this. And yeah, just how she relates to the information that's being shared. Sometimes we have other races come through. If you haven't seen the channel, I have a ton of channeled videos. If you haven't seen, the channel and channeled videos. It's somatics. Anyways, okay, let's dive in. Whew. So I'm going to channel her, and we'll see what comes through. I'm going to be asking questions as well. Sit back, receive, do what you're doing, and be the light that you are. Okay. I have come today to share with you the bigger picture of what is unfolding on the earth at this time, so you can learn how to navigate the waves that are continuing to hit. The waves that you are sensing and receiving right now are the beginning of this storm, if you will. This is the precursor of what is to come. It is important that you stay grounded. It is important that you stay the rock amongst the floating chaos and these waves that are crashing. The waves that are crashing are meant to be destructive, which is why they are fueled with this chaotic energy. It's why they are fueled with this bombardment of information and dark energies. The darkness is able to absorb what it has created. And so it is in the process of reabsorbing itself through the information coming out into the light that you could call the general collective. So as this information reaches the light and sometimes creates darkness amongst the light, there is this magnetism that's occurring where the light is sending it. It's not receiving it, really. It's repelling it back to be consumed in the darkness. But by being consumed in the darkness, it is actually going back to center, because the center is made up of both energies, you see. The center is both light and dark. All creation is made up of these energies, and everything is one. And so as this comes to the surface, it is able to be absorbed through that dark energy because the light is repelling it. Could you explain this a little bit deeper? This seems very confusing to some, I'm sure. They're showing me a volcano, how if the lava in the volcano never came out, it would not be able to be reabsorbed by the land, purified by the land. And so they are showing me that that volcano must erupt in order to destroy everything in its path, so it can then be reabsorbed by the land. You could also see this as wildfires, natural wildfires that go through and destroy everything that has been, so it can return to the earth, to the light, through the ashes, through the darkness. And then what happens? That fire actually spreads the seeds of the plants. There are plants that literally need fire to keep existing. And you could see this fire as fuel, this darkness as fuel for the light beings, for the beings that are meant to take action, the way showers that are meant to bring forth solutions. They hold solutions within them. You all are unlocking through this catalyst, through these waves that are crashing and destroying. And it is so new things can be rebirthed. This is how she's showing me like a visual of, like, I don't even know, a pendulum, I guess. I'm seeing it a lot more like fluid, like water moving, like one of those like wave pools at a science museum. But this is how the structure of reality works, where it's constantly shifting and moving back and forth to release and what was that word? To release and to reabsorb. Thank you. Reabsorb that energy. Release, reabsorb. Release, reabsorb. And through this constant state of contraction, expansion, release, absorb, give, receive even. Because we live in a dualistic nature, This is the nature of the universe and therefore the nature of Earth. And so we are seeing to the ending. Our universe is expanding. Our universe is moving through a cataclysm right now, which is why humanity, the Earth, is showing this. It's a micro of the macro. The Earth, the universe, our source is moving out of the need to experience duality, to experience polarized views. They are moving into the need to experience through self again. And this is why we see people moving inward. These events are helping people to move inward and to create through self what it is they wish to see and interact with. Source no longer has to take a part of itself and put it out in order to see what's occurring, in order to understand fully. And so as this destruction occurs and gets reabsorbed, this is how we are moving further into unity. And so the files are just something to trigger this. The files are just something to help dismantle the system and to help the darkness be reabsorbed into itself so it can grow again and again and again and again. But there is a shift this time, because while I say this, she's like, I can feel your brain, Marissa. Like, I can feel that, like, you're thinking, well, if the darkness gets absorbed by the darkness, then where the fuck is the light? Like, that makes no sense. So she's like, I hear you. Go ahead. The darkness must be absorbed from the point in which it came from, which is why the darkness needs to be absorbed by the darkness in order to collapse on itself. Okay. And so are you, well, okay. And the light also must be absorbed by the light in order to collapse on itself. And so both sides, in a way, are collapsing. They are collapsing, and this is not to add more fear. This is not to freak anyone out. This is more so to show that polarity, a polarized experience, is what we're moving away from. Because when both sides collapse into themselves, we're left with just one. We're left with oneness. We're left with the whole. And that is where we're moving. So don't get distracted by the details. Don't get distracted by the conspiracies. Don't get distracted at this time. Acknowledge that this is not meant to harm any more people. It is simply meant to awaken the souls that have the keys within them to change the world, to shift the world. It's not about dark and light anymore. It's about coming together as a whole, arriving to the center place, which takes neutrality. So we share with you this information in hopes that you will not pick a side, but you will observe neutrally what is occurring. You will observe neutrally what is happening in your life. and start walking from a whole state of being. Seeing both sides, seeing the bigger picture. We have mastered this. This is why we come to share this information with you. See from the bigger picture. See that multiple timelines are existing. See that you get to choose and create the life that you live. What is possible for you. Okay, is there anything else? There is nothing to be afraid of. There is nothing to fear at this time. For those of you that are listening are divinely cared for. You are divinely here to set source free of this polarized experience. Forgiveness energy is the starting point. Whew. Wow, that brought forward a lot of emotion in my body and tears. Forgive the other. Forgive the dark if you stand in the light. Forgive the light if you stand in the dark. Forgive and accept what has occurred so you can be present for what is occurring. You are experiencing the collapse of the dark. And you will experience the collapse of the light eventually. But again, this is not to scare you. This is to return you to the whole. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Marissa. Thank you. Whoop. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you being here. Very interesting information. Yeah, I don't really have much to say after that. I'm going to have to listen to it back because when I'm in that channeled state, it just goes in and out, in and out. So thank you so much for watching. And we are here. We are here. Don't take things too seriously. It's all divinely orchestrated. Thank you.